this thing, QR code. Can we not think around them? Why do we have to think of something which is above the sky? Like, I'm also one of the mentors at IIT Kanpur. So what my colleague Nikhil was also saying in the last panel, that we are all chasing AI, chat GPT, and of late in the last 1 year, what we have learned from chat GPT is just one word called delve, which is not there in conclusion, which was not a part of our vocabulary earlier. So why are we chasing for something new? Why can't we talk about that traditional thing which they have done in Tamil Nadu? Why can't we think about those smallest of the small innovations that are happening every day? And there are larger problems to solve beyond becoming an unicorn, beyond raising your value or creating your value or getting your venture capitalist invest because they want to exit when your value is created. So that's my take, sir, going forward.
Yeah. It's a very contra type
yeah,
of
it
perspective.
is. I beg your pardon, but
yeah,
it is.
Sure. Sure.
Thank you so much.
So let me go to now Mr. Gaurav Mathur to give his views.
Hello. So, I represent a very different, probably, personality in this room. I'm more closer to the corporate. And as a corporate, I know the talent requirements, the tech talent requirements corporates have today. And on the other side, I'm able to hear and see, the vast amount of talent getting created at the universities. And because there are lack of employment opportunities sometimes, we hear a lot of people and a lot of youngsters without getting the experience under the belt, they want to start off a startup. And that's where the ideas goes for a toss. So as an organization, I belong to a company called Felix Consulting. What we did is, we have done a forward and backward integration on this. And for example, we went to a rural area in Bangalore called Neelamangala. And there, students coming out of colleges, they don't want to leave their homes, but they want good packages. And the corporates are not willing to go to Neelamangala. They are willing to be at Bangalore. Right, so I think one of the needs of the hour for access to these students is also the corporates going towards these people rather than these students coming to the corporates. That's not going to happen all the time. Now, with respect to the availability of technology, how startups can utilize it, a lot of the times I've seen startups, they would be good at one thing. So they would have built a product, but they don't know how to market it. They would not have a good sales team to do that for them. But technology today is available to help you do your website very quickly. If you, for example, use the Wix as a platform, it already has AI which can help you build images dynamically, help you create presentations, help you do websites very fast. You've got a Canva. And if you look at the technology partner today, My Anatomy, I was just seeing their slides here. They already have a talent platform which is there. So you don't need to, as a startup, when you're choosing a technology, you have to decide between whether you make it or you buy it, right? So it is suggested that you should buy a technology which is available and then make things around it. You don't need to, you don't need to go and sit and make a financial management application or a manufacturing application. As an organization, Felix has been collaborating with a lot of startups and taking their solutions to the manufacturing sector. So build, you should look at, while adopting it for yourself, you should initially buy what is there. There is a Tally, there is a Canva, there's so many solutions, and then build solutions around it for your own company. And if you're a startup who wants to go to the, the corporates, then also these technologies are very helpful. So I think access to the technology is all there. You probably need to have some guru or some mentor who guides you on, how to control your operating costs. And we are happy to collaborate with a lot of universities here so that we can bridge that gap between the corporate and the academia which is being available here.
I think that's a very valid perspective. But I personally feel that, say, if you're a startup, and things are changing. So just look at the world which was before November of 2022, before ChatGPT hit the scene. There are a lot of companies which were having a business model which was around writing tools and creativity and all these advertisements and things like that. that world got suddenly upended because of ChatGPT. In fact, many of these startups went out of business because of this. So I feel that either the incubator or at least some agency should be doing something like strategic foresight continuously, looking at where technology is heading and being able to advise these startups and make them aware of how things are shifting, because you are so caught up in the day-to-day of the startup that sometimes you miss those things which are changing very fast. So perhaps there is a role there which is missing at the moment, which needs to be introduced.
No, you're perfectly right. So that's why I said, do your research, get a guru, get a mentor, right? Maybe you've not seen the world, and there are a lot of products already out there, right? So use it and research on it before you really jump into it. And having a mentor is very important. A lot of the startups are very passionate entrepreneurs, but then they should realize that there is somebody out there who can also guide them towards the bigger world.
Thank you. So now let's move to the third topic, and this is the last topic for today, which is looking at business development, legal and globalization perspectives for startups. So let me start first with Abhilasha Malik. Over to you.
Good evening, everyone. And thank you for having me here as a part of this esteemed panel. To clarify, I'm not a lawyer, and no, we are not a law firm. I represent the Mayor of London here in India. We are his office, his economic and development agency. And I look after entire Northern India. Now, over the course of the last year and more, I've had the fortune of working very closely with a lot of incubators, accelerators across the country to really understand that where is this very strong Indian startup story now headed. And we've just heard from everybody that truly today the Indian startup ecosystem is phenomenal and is only exponentially growing. Now, all of this growth finds great alignment beyond borders. And I can specifically say this for the city that I speak of, and that is London. So London today has in the last 1 year, recorded 100 FDI projects, and 29% of them, which is the highest, have come as inward investment from India. So today we are the top investors into London. And what makes us really what is it about London that finds favor with a lot of Indian startups? So besides the fundamentals, and when I say fundamentals, I mean regulation, I mean policy, I mean, from the right sort of talent to clients to funding to customers, besides the actual fundamentals, there are the intangibles. And with intangibles here, I refer to the sheer values, the warmth, and the welcome that any Indian company or any Indian startup, irrespective of size, today a startup today will be an MSME tomorrow and later a company. So despite all of that, it is what makes London extremely attractive and a hotbed for Indian companies today, which are actively looking at expanding beyond borders. And that's where we come in. So, like Gaurav said, that there's this mentoring that is needed, this little gap that you find. So you have your idea, you've had your startup, you have everything in place, you've been able to identify your niche depending on the technology sector that you come from. And now comes the second part of it, where you don't know everything that lies beyond borders, or there's a market, there's an ecosystem, there is a setup that you're not as aware of. And that's where we come in. So we play an extremely pivotal role in hand-holding and in taking you to, through the regulation, helping you navigate the entire ecosystem that awaits you there. And, sort of will make you feel as an extension of this wonderful idea and this, dream that you have. So taking on from there and knitting it all together. But if you speak of global perspectives, where the Indian startup story is going, I think it's going extremely strong. And Mr. Chaudhary and I were discussing earlier where he said, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, world is one family. So I look at even technology, even the startups, the entire ecosystem as one close thing coming together globally, So the Indian story holding very strong and London coming very closely and, sort of growing together in that space.
So Abhilasha, just a question to you. After Brexit, now what has happened is that the European market is not accessible, say, if you locate in London. So how do you deal with that? What is your pitch on that for a startup?
The good thing is I don't need a pitch. Brexit happened a long time ago, and the London story has stood very, very strong. I mean, we've emerged very resilient, and a simple example is last year alone we had about 31 Indian companies set up in London. Speaking specifically of artificial intelligence, not just India, but nearly about, I think, more than 1,500 odd leading AI companies are headquartered in London. So despite, putting Brexit aside, even funding, London alone has twice the amount of funding, UK has twice the amount of funding as compared to any European city. So London opens doors to not just entire Europe, but also emerging markets. So it's one of those places, where you're headquartered to sort of then, it's not just about growing into London, but it's also growing in London and then growing from London. So, as a springboard to the rest of the world, which then lies open for you.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Mr. Sudan,
yes.
Business doesn't have any borders. For politicians, political borders will be there. For business people, I don't think there is any border. Whether they are in London or India or wherever it is, I mean, they can do the business, particularly in the internet world. That is the reason why our India Startup Foundation, we transformed that into International Startup Foundation. As she was mentioning, the world is one family, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Wherever startups are there, we are there to help them. And they also need India market. India also need their market. So it is a collaborative effort.
True, true.
Yes,
But
just adding to that, sorry.
Yeah.
This, I have never looked at trade in all of this time. I've never looked at trade from just one perspective of, a lot of times I'm asked, is it inward or outward? And my response is a very simple one, that all good trade flourishes both ways. And it is set to flourish both ways. So not just that, it's one family and this thing, but you find warmth. The minute a startup, the minute a company, the minute a founder finds two things. First is understanding his thought and idea, and second is where is his journey headed? What is it that he's seeking? The minute you're able to understand that perspective, you're able to bring to him what it is that he's actually looking for. And I think that is something now, whether it is, in India or whether it is in London, and when it is in London and how it is where we come in. So that is the sort of thing I see.
So there is just one perspective to what Mr. Chaudhary said. What we are seeing internationally is that cross-border data flows are being restricted. More and more countries are expecting data to be locally resident, especially where it comes to personal data. Now, if you look at the European Union, so the data can flow across countries within that block, whereas outside of that block, then it becomes a problem. So what I feel is that as startups in the future will have to increasingly have to face this problem of restrictions on cross-border data flows, which is going to upset some of the business models which are available out there.
So lawyers like her can make more money out of it.
Right, exactly. So, okay, this was great. Now because this whole conference is about talent and about, how it sort of impacts on the startup system and incubators and accelerators, let me now go to Mr. Piyush Garg and see what is his perspective on all that has been discussed from an academic institution point of view.
Thank you. With that, I would like to add the legal perspective as well, if
Okay,
you permit. Okay,
sure.
So everyone was talking that I'm not a lawyer, so
Keep it closer.
I'm a lawyer as well.
Excellent.
And with utmost regards to the co-panel members, I would like to interact with their audience. Hello, Delhi. A warm greetings in this cold weather. Till the time we don't talk about AI, someone doesn't seem to be educated enough. And I'm not. So can someone actually help me understand what is the difference between AI and ethical AI? Since morning, we have been actually hearing this term very common. Ethical AI and AI. At times, things seem very complicated, but they are very simple. Okay? What is the legal age to marry in India? 21. And what is the legal age to have a consensual sex? It's 18. Ethics and legal. So we can have a consensual intimacy at the age of 18, but we can marry at the age of 21. So this is the difference between ethical AI and AI.
Interesting. Please go ahead.
Okay. Now, very frequently we talk about the frameworks and the legal safeguards which any government should work on. We all are pioneers in our domain. Can someone help me understand, when we're talking about next gen, in the present generation, which are the legal safeguards which are available to us if any infringement happens or if anything wrong happens in AI? Most probably the answer would be that the government is working on it and the government should protect it, right? Nobody talks about the Information Technology Act 2000. Nobody talks about the DPDA 2023, Digital Privacy and Data Protection Act. Nobody talks about the constitutional safeguards. Can the next generation of incubators and accelerators move to the next level without having the strong founding blocks, without having the strong fundamentals? What it will take. Whenever we talk about startups, ek AI hua, next, if we don't talk about the unicorns, we don't actually have the vision. I strongly believe that the next generation of disruption will actually come only with 4 C's: collaboration, cross-culture, cross-domain, and cross-skilling. As one of our renowned speakers in her previous session said, culture eats breakfast for the strategy. Eats strategy for the breakfast. What works in the south does not work in the north. When I say collaboration, how can I actually replicate Mr. J. Chaudhary and Mr. Srinivas and other panel members across to India, to my startups who are in tier 3 cities? And I'm saying this when I'm actually the vice president of a university having 2,900 patents granted to me. And where is this university? In tier 3 city. Second largest in the world. 247 private registered startups with us. 247. Most of my co-panel members said, we need more infusion of funds. I would say most of these 247 startups who are incubated with me, part of my student community, they are making the marks without even having the 5 lakhs of basic investments with them. And 6 of them this week are going to represent in the grand finale at IIT Mumbai. And all of them are working on the social impact. Assistive technologies for the deaf and mute, rural empowerment, employment generation. So instead of actually seeking the ROI, that is the return on investment, the next generation of startups and incubators should focus on self-sustainability, should focus on self-empowerment, and ROI, which is defined as return on impact. The impact which I have done on the society as an entrepreneur, as a founding director. So that is where I see that this collaboration, cross-domain skilling, cross-domain technologies, and cross-cultural collaboration will be the founding pillars of the next generation startups and incubators.
Thank you very much.
I think what they say is when you come on stage, you should always pick up a cue from your previous speaker. I cannot do anything what he did. But just to introduce myself, my name is Nitin. I represent Google Cloud. I'm with my colleague Sanjay Kathuria there. We both are relatively new to Google Cloud. It's not a very old organization in terms of, well, Google has been there for quite some time. The cloud business is not that old. So, I mean, most of the people in India are like 3 or 4 years in the Indian market. But what has been happening is we've been working with education a lot. And along with education, when the word tech comes in, that's where I think the transformation happens. Now, whether it's an edtech working with the student at home or an edtech working with the student in his or her college or school, I think the solutions are always centered around the student. And in the process, there are multiple stakeholders to be worked with, which is the school administration, the teachers, the entire support staff, the parents. So how do you kind of get all of them? Because transformation will happen to the student when these stakeholders also understand how does tech influence them or how do they apply tech. They may not know. For example, when I did my engineering in like 96, believe me, I mean, the only access, or when I passed out in school in 92, I mean, the computer lab was only available for playing 1 or 2 games, that's it, nothing else. Even in engineering, while we were taught how to program, but we were asked to write the code in the paper, and the compilation happened just by checking. So I think the world has progressed a lot from there. Now, what I'm about to talk to you is mostly on 2 parts. One, how is Google, when I say Google, not just Google Cloud, how is Google looking at education? Second, a little bit about AI, but then more importantly, how do we want to engage with colleges, universities? Largely, this is aimed at higher ed. And in the process, how do we engage with companies who want to work with these colleges or universities? So that will be the theme. Okay, so if you look at, when we look at education and we look at our products, what we offer, there are 4 key pillars which come to that. The first is access. And access is to devices, whether it is to Wi-Fi, and it is equitable access, so that every student or every teacher has access in his or her campus or at home. The second is working with educators to adopt whatever technologies used to be accessed, whether it is a Chromebook, a laptop, a smart board. So that's where the capability comes in. The third pillar is content. Now, we are not into content, but yes, we have platforms where content is being created, like YouTube is there, or there are companies which create content using our tools on our devices, and that content needs access as well as capability. And the last thing is, if technology is going to be used, you need to be able to measure it in some way or the other. Is it adding benefit to teachers? Is it adding benefit to students? What's in it for the institute or for the parents? And then not just measure, but also be able to take corrective action. Like all students' learning curve might be very different. Now, for a teacher in a standard class of 35 to 40 students, it is very difficult. But can technology come to the aid and provide that analytics? So that's where I think we are looking at technology as Google to play a role. And we are partnering with different organizations who are building solutions and also some taking our solutions to the educators. So that is how we look at education here, not just here, but across the world. And we've been working, like I said, there's a Google for Education team, which is a different team, which works with both K-12 and higher ed, both private and public schools. So that is a different team, but we work very closely with them. Now, coming to AI. Now, AI has been there for quite some time. It's just that the buzzword came out when maybe some of the platforms came out where Gen AI and some of the platforms like GPT and BART came out where it became a very common buzzword. But AI has been around for some time now. Now, for example, if you in your respective school, college, or for example in your organizations have used any Chromebook or any Chrome product or any Gmail suite, you've been looking at predictive text. You've been so that is some form of AI where it is predicting what do you want to write. Where the crux of it is, does it help to boost your productivity, and does it give you as an educator and as a student, to express yourself, you might not be good at speaking. Now, you might not be good at typing also. So can technology, when you speak, can it type it out for you? So can it be expressive? That is what we are looking at AI to play a role. Now, there are different, I won't take all examples, but there are different institutes and different edtech companies who are working on different productivity suites. Now, why I'm sharing with all this of you is because there is things happening in India. If you want to know about them, work about them, do reach out to Chinmay and us. We'll be willing to work with you in that area, where you can help boost creativity and productivity amongst your students and teachers. Now, as a different example, there is a company, there is an institute which came to us. They said we have to reduce the assessments. Now, this institute is not a accredited institute, it's a training institute. They train for IAS students. But they say that there is so much of assessment, written assessment, which we have to assess. It becomes difficult. How can AI help solve that? So we are working with another organization, a partner of ours, to convert that written document into digital, and using the learnings of the educators, how do they assess? Building a logic for that and letting AI do the first round of assessment. Okay, so that has significantly improved the or reduced the time for teachers on pure assessment. So now 90% of the assessment happens there. The last 10% comes to the actual teachers. So that again is an example of where productivity is increased, and that also helps not only the teacher but even the students, because some of these institutes, they take weekly tests and they have to, or they take tests on an alternate basis. So they have to give that results also quickly back to the students. So this is another form where AI is being used. It's not that it will be used in the future, but it is being used today. Similarly, if you look at innovation at, now there are universities, I remember my university, mine was a state university in Goa, but there are private universities today who have, and I saw the gentleman from Chitkar, I'm not sure if he's here, but I had visited their institute, I think in 2017 or 18, and he talked about that entrepreneurship lab, and I've seen that lab. In fact, they are one of the private universities who started using technology earlier on. Now, even for them, the issue was students kept on demanding more and more. Like someone asked that, what do you do with technology? It keeps changing. Now, that required huge amount of processing power. Ultimately, what that means for an institute owner is, if you ask Mohit Chitkara, what does he feel? He'll say, okay, I'll have to put up another lab, I'll have to put up another physical infrastructure. Today, there are companies available with us, like Unicloud, where you can take digital labs. Why do you want to put up that infrastructure at your premise? Now, those are high computing labs. Give that access to the student, give him some tokens, so you're saved from all that cost of maybe savings on your infrastructure. But more importantly, it is on demand, and demand is, again, it can be either during, after college hours, or it could be during one specific time of the year. So you can then accordingly use that power rather than investing everything in yourself. So that's what, and that will help drive innovation also. Because if you see some of these incubators, you walk up to the students, I mean, they are open till 8, 9, 10 in the night. That's when they're actually doing that stuff. So using technology also helps in innovation. So from that perspective, I think a lot of universities are looking at how do they adopt cloud? How do they adopt the power of cloud to drive innovation? And AI is a part of it. This is a very important one. Not only institutes, every edtech we talk to, who is an edtech who is into skilling of students, especially school students and college students, where there is a set curriculum and you have to teach that curriculum in that specific period of time. But you know that the students need more of you. So how do you replace yourself? So almost every edtech out there or every institute who has their own content, they are figuring out, can we create a teacher assistant for the teacher? Can that workload? Now, assistant comes in two forms. One, can the admin load be reduced? Second, can the admin load, I mean, is setting up the question paper, doing the assessments, The second thing is, if the teacher is not available, how do I then replicate access to student that he or she is still talking to their teacher? So that is where I think this large language models are coming into play. You must have heard of GPT or BARD, but those are consumer models. Now someone talked about data privacy. Someone talked about ethical AI. That's where I think you'll need to figure out, if you have your own content, you can use that content to train your own model and give access to that model to students, your own students. What that will ensure is, one, your data is protected. Second, you're giving access to students only for that data. So if the student asks to that data, who is Salman Khan, the model will not answer. So it is very relevant to your data set. And you can do that. Now the issue is, you can come to Google and say, why don't you take that? Now, there's data available in NCRT, there's data available in AICTE, but that's a gray area. We don't have rights to use that data to train our models. But if you have right to your own data, your own notes, your own IP, your own videos, teachers' videos or content, that data can be used. If you have those rights, we can help you train your models and deploy it in a very efficient way. That becomes as a secondary teacher. Now that could be a text-based or that could be a voice-based. There is an edtech who's wanting to replicate himself or herself, star teachers, to do that. That is where AI is going to help. That, again, the advantage is access available to student beyond classrooms or school hours from the teacher in a very safe environment. That student may not ever raise his or her hand in classroom, but on his or her device, they'll be open to ask questions and get a reply, because they know that they're in the safe zone. No one will question them, oh, you don't know this. So I think AI can be used in multiple ways. This is another interesting area where we are working with a lot of, again, edtech and education institutes to build their data models for a virtual teacher or an assistant teacher. Now, what could an ideal institution be like? It is the same thing which you have been doing, that students should get personalized access. That is where they will perform their best. Teachers should spend more time, maybe less time on admin stuff or checking papers, more time on assessing students, okay, where does a student need help, what are the really tough topics. But for that, what support you need is, that's where tech helps you, is giving you that analysis. Okay, now there is a company, again, I won't name the company because they are working with the NDA with us, but what they're trying to do is, if they want to see how many students have enrolled, how many are likely to clear a complete course. And this is not a free course. This is a very expensive 2-year to 4-year paid courses. But it is a hybrid course. But what they want to do is, because the students are learning in a hybrid environment, that means there are some 4 days or 5 days, 3 days a week they might be at home, 1 day they might come for a lecture. But they want technology to assist, because they're recording everything. When I say recording, all the things, whether what questions are going, what is the answer sheets coming in, they want analysis to be done, which student is likely to drop out or which student might not understand this concept, and that intervention has to go automatically to the respective teacher. So this they're doing not just for that, but they're doing it for the business side also. How many students are hitting our website? Which pin codes are hitting our website? How many are going up to the payment stage and coming back? So they also want to know, if they release some offers, what is the ROI on that? Someone talked about ROI. So this can help you in both ways, as an institute or even as an edtech. So I think that is what I think we are working with a lot of companies on, a lot of edtech companies in India. And believe me, there are a lot of smart chaps here, and you'll agree to that. Some of the colleges have their own students also helping create some of these models for them, working with edtechs. Now, I wanted to show a quick video about Workspace. It is a very powerful video. There's a new product we've launched, Duet AI. It's a 2-minute video, but it's I think it'll talk about, I won't talk about Workspace. It's a good video to just see how AI is being used in a very which can be used in everyone's device. So this is about workspace and how AI can help, whether it is, and you saw, I mean, if you're an educator or even a business person, whether it is summarizing all your emails, you're doing a VC, summarizing the notes, making presentations, thank you notes. So some of these things can help you increase productivity. And believe me, this works really well. It's available. You can work, you can order, you can reach out to us. A lot of companies who are using Workspace are moving on to trying this out. How can we use this in our work environment? Now, that is about AI. I won't talk about Workspace. You've seen the video. Now I want to switch gears and see that how do we want to reach out to institutes and along with our partner edtech companies. So, like I said, we have an education team who reaches out to institutes, both public and private. We have a DevRel team which goes out specifically to technical institutes where they want to teach programming, and they've been going out for many years. You must have seen some of you, if you're from the academia, some of you might have Google ambassadors on your campus who are Android champions, so that is one team. There is another team which specifically goes out for cloud, and there's another team which goes out for hackathons. So as Google, we said, let's maybe create a program. It is an engagement program. Again, it has started with universities, but we might come out with a version for schools also next year. How do we get universities to work with us, or both ways, where it is not just about one specific thing of buying our product and using it, but having a longer relationship. So for that, what we did is we tied up with one of our distributors in India, Reddington, and they tied up with about 30, 40 partners who work with universities. They might be your suppliers for computer equipment, they might be your suppliers for maybe content or some way or the other, basically where you have a financial transaction with them, because you also needed them to do that day-to-day hand-holding. Through them, we launched this program called Digital Campus on Google Cloud. Now, what was the need for it? Because, and I know the theme was more incubators, startups. This is where actually the startups start actually. I mean, most of the ideas come in college, right? So, what is happening in India also is cloud computing is going up. Now, you saw the recently concluded G20 summit also. I don't know how many of you saw where the Prime Minister did a session with the security agency, the Delhi police. And one of the, I'm not sure if she was a lady constable or inspector, but she said that she was interacting with the Turkish Prime Minister's wife, and she didn't know anything, they didn't understand each other's language. But they were using that app where she was speaking in Hindi and the Prime Minister's wife on the other side was getting her messages in her Turkish language and vice versa. So if you see, government also is going in a big way to use cloud computing. Private it is there. What that is creating is a whole demand for roles. Now those roles are multiple roles, not just technical, there are architecture roles, there are sales roles. So cloud computing is here to stay, it is only going to grow. So what we are working is, okay, can we work with these universities and do a certification also for them? So one is where we are bringing in a learning team, offering content, curriculum, which you can tailor according to your needs. And we look at a assessment and a certification so that students also have an alternate when they want to apply for. So these are the 3 or 4 things we thought about. And we said, how do we package this well? Sorry. So no need to take the details. I'll give you the website link. So what we said is, okay, let's look at 3 sets of universities. Universities which have, let's say, standalone, which have up to 1,000 students, then 1,000 to 3,000, and maybe 3,000 and above up to 10,000 plus, because large campuses will need a different kind of engagement. So we brought in everything, something for everyone. Now, obviously, yes, and those are the workspace licenses. But then, apart from workspace licenses, which universities will use, we will also give for the students credits to, like I said, to test out these labs, credits for testing out whatever they're learning on cloud, that labs, certification courses, and also there will be, so that's for the students. The other thing is the DevRel team will also conduct hackathons for these universities as this program expands. We are also looking at, since there are a lot of companies adopting Google Cloud in India and the government also, we want to bring those companies in a room. We did this in September in Bangalore, and we got students who are learning cloud courses on GCP onto one room. We call that a job fair. These are 4th year students. So there were some 100 plus small companies we brought who are adopting cloud, who needed freshers, and then we brought students. So we want to do these job fairs also. So there's something in it for everyone. There's something in for teachers, there's certification courses, there's something in it for students, obviously, where there's certified courses, access to hackathons, job fairs. For the institute also, this is a co-branded program. So yes, there will be PR around this. Now we are wanting the universities to apply to this, and because there's a lot of commitment from our side also to make this happen in the university, but there's lot of commitment from the university also to, okay, ensure are they willing to do this. Now, you may be a tech university, you may not be a tech university. And we launched this in September with Economic Times. Some of the universities which have come up are into liberal arts, but they want to teach cloud. So we've seen those kind of requests also coming in. So this is the program we are launching. Now the other thing which we are also doing is, as these universities are coming and will come on board on this, there will be solutions which they will need. Now some universities might need a solution on maybe how do we get more students. So we need a better outreach program on marketing, or we need a better assessment solution, or we need a digital library solution. That's where the edtechs come in. So we're also working with technology companies to come and work with us along with these universities. If you have a solution running on Google Cloud, which can be used by a university on campus or their students, come talk to us. So that we take that whole package to the university. So there are a few companies, MyAnatomy is one of them, whom we work closely with. There are a few others listed here. I won't go into details, but that is the idea. So to get you access not just to our technology and our courses, but to get you access to problems which have been solved for the education ecosystem by other tech companies. And if you're willing to transact with them, do that independently. We have nothing to do in that. It's just that we are bringing all of that onto one platform. So that is the engagement what we've kind of started this with. We are seeing good traction. So we thought it will be a good opportunity to come and talk to all of you about this. There is a website, this QR code you can scan, but I'll send Chinmay all the details. You can reach out, and there is a dedicated website to this. As we build this community, We feel that we should have more and more of these universities. We will start doing some local city events, local city catch-ups across. But we just started this 2 months ago. So we are hopeful that maybe by the next admission cycle, by June, July, there'll be a lot of universities which will tie up on this. So that's all I had to share. Thank you for your time. I know it's been a long day. I'm around here if you have any questions. Thank you.
Good evening, Delhi. I know long day and heavy lunch, heavy sessions, and lot of information about Google. We can do two things. One is I will leave it to your imagination to Google and find the right answers. We all can go home in 5 minutes. Or we'll get engaged, understand few things about what's going well, what's not going well, what is our responsibility, and what can we do together. So are we all game? Hello? Good evening. Now half of them are asleep. I need a lot of energy because I come all the way from Bangalore. Delhi temperature is very cold. Good evening. Thank you. When Chinmay told me about covering multiple aspects in one presentation, we are constrained by time. I will run the slides literally like Usain Bolt speed. And I would want you to just keep your eyes wide open and absorb as much as possible. This is the agenda. India, the world, the trends, and the future of industry-academia collaboration. Quick statistics about India. I'm very, very proud of. I can spend an hour on this and helping you understand why India is the best place happening on the earth right now. Ever-changing world, that's Mother India. And we're very glad to be in Delhi. Imagine 570 million people on social media. Never heard of. Morning, my dear friend Dr. Sitaram talked about India producing 1.4 million engineers. Collectively, America and China together, if you put all the engineers they produce, we are far better than them. They still don't match to our numbers. So India is all about scale. It's about managing the complexity. Look at the digital payments that India is making. 350 million transactions happening on digital payments. Right, now more information for you. Last line is very important. Asia, if you look at the number of people, English-speaking population in Asia is 460 million plus. Out of that, if I talk to you about India, more than 50% is in India. When I talk about Asia, India is the largest Asia. I may allow to say so. Right? So, why I am showing this to you? The country is full of land of opportunities. What I am saying is, we have no doubt, not the third, I think we will be the largest and the biggest economy in the next 5-7 years. We are talking about 2050. I think India will be the third largest economy very soon. It won't take time till 2047 or 2050, but I think India will be the hub for every possible thing on the earth. Be it human capital, be it students, be it talent, be it opportunities, everything, India is the epicenter. India produces 24,000 PhDs in a year. Tell me which country produces so many? Morning you're talking about India is the 5th country in the world in terms of publishing research and filing patents. People thought India is only a country of huge population. Today we have become the intellectual capital of the world. And we are not stopping here. I think the sky is not the limit for us as a country, but we have challenges ahead. We are leading the techno-innovation, and on the left side, pay attention to that India stack. I don't know how many of you are aware. We have 1.4 billion people on Aadhaar platform. Every day, close to 200 million transactions happen on Aadhaar platform. Seamless, without a hitch. One example that I'm showing, there are several of them. And this country is going at a rocket speed. We're talking about Vande Bharat train. I think this is faster than most of them actually. When the G20 came to India, India hosted as a president country, Many of the world leaders were taken to some markets in Delhi and they witnessed the digital payments by a local vegetable vendor. The so-called evolved economies in Europe fell off. When in America, even today, you go for a vaccination shot, they give you a written paper. India, digitally, it comes on your phone. That's the power of India Stack. I want all of you to remember this and talk about this to everybody in your home, in your college, in your neighborhoods. People should be aware of what India has produced for all of us. Now, I think I talked about it already. There is India's first solar-powered airport. Fully 100% solar-powered airport in India. It comes from south of India, in Kerala, right? So we already talked about Chandrayaan, MOM mission, and then we also have Aditya now. So no stopping this country. I already showed you this number, 500 million plus youth, 200 million plus English speaking, just fine. Now, the future of work, I think I was talking to some of my colleagues in the afternoon. Some companies are saying permanently, forever work from home. Some companies are saying, if possible, please work. Yeah? Some companies are saying, few days at least work karo yaar. Yeah? Kuch to do, salary to milega. But I think the issue is, thanks to pandemic, we have unearthed a whole new world of work. And that brings enormous opportunities and challenges. Remote, work from home, work from anywhere, work from office, work from Timbuktu, work from beaches. Yeah, it's infinite possibilities today, right? I think I'm making a bold statement. In this country, in future, we will have no concept of retirement. We will also not have concept of permanent employment. I'm saying there will be concept of power of volunteerism. I want to volunteer to work with Mr. Negi's organization for the next 3 months. After that, I will see what I will do. For next 3 months, I will work with Chinmay's company. It's not going to be a permanent contract. It's going to be volunteerism is going to come in because gig economy is big. Imagine if now people talked about moonlight. Let's forget moonlight for a moment. Let's talk about a gig. This is a huge unorganized sector which is there. If we bring them together, the intellect capital of the country will just go multifold. So I'm saying non-traditional models will emerge from an employment standpoint. And when we did a survey, again, we did not do this survey, one of the leading institution in the country, a consulting company did a survey with people, 75% of them wants to work from home forever. We are struggling, we are trying to call people to Bangalore. We are getting all kinds of reasons, like Nani mar gayi, Nana marne wala hai, bachcha hone wala hai, kuch aur hone wala hai, 6 months chahiye, 8 months chahiye, agle saal aunga, and so on and so forth. That's the reality, right? So, one suggestion is, let's not be scared about this AI. I think many people are getting scared. I want to give you reassurance. AI is not a threat. For me, AI is an enabler, is a collaborator, is a partner. If we use them, the technology very effectively and wisely. We have to be ready for digital, phygital and global. Yeah, these are new words, phygital and global. So we must be prepared for all of these things. We also talked about if you are forcing people to come to office, there is a huge attrition threat. 39% of them are said, we will leave the company if you force us to come to office. So this is about future of work. There's a huge architecture which is already built in. I don't want to dwell on it because I'm standing between me and my flight at 8 o'clock. Now, the future of skills, this is a big challenge for all of us. We are saying many organizations are grappling with this so-called midlife crisis of the talent. There are people who are 40 plus, there are who are less than 50. And they have done some kind of work. They joined the industry 20 years ago. They have done certain things. Now they don't know where to go. There's a huge crisis coming up. About 40% of them in the Indian IT industry today, of the 5 million plus workforce we're talking about, 40% needs upskilling, reskilling, otherwise vanish from the door. There are big challenges happening, right? So we have to learn. This is the biggest skill that we need to teach people today. How to learn, we don't know. Forget what to learn. Learning to learn is the biggest skill. So how do we do it? What do we do about it? Where do we teach them? Where do we start? So there are a lot of these questions that are there in my mind. Academia is actually playing a massive role in building country's intellectual capital, because academia is preparing the future of this country. Academia is not only preparing the future of this country, but they're also creating the future for the world, because world's working capital is in India. Because we are a young country in an aging world, there are many working population around the world, because India's average is about 33, 34 years, whereas other countries are 45, 55 and 60 and so on and so forth. So truly academia is doing a great honor by building intellectual capital for the world. You have a big role to play. What it means is you must also be ready to reinvent yourself. If you don't reinvent, you will not be relevant in this world, because world is coming to India. The global academic institutions are knocking at our door because the government liberal policies, everybody wants to come to India. Today we are not worried about FDI. FDIs are waiting, so when can we come? Because markets are so high today, they are not able to enter. Similarly, if academia, Indian academia cannot reinvent itself, we will be giving a biggest opportunity and we will be losing the opportunity from our hands. Now, these are the countries who are facing the greatest skill shortages. Okay, this is, look at India is on the top. So we have a challenge. I'm talking about skill deficiency in every sector. Talk about organized, unorganized, automotive, any sector you name, there are issues. And we have, as an academicians, as industry people, to think about how do we help to bridge this gap rapidly in a war-footing basis. Because if we can't do it, we will lose the race, we will lose the game. Right, so now I am giving you some more availability of data state-wise. Skill availability state-wise. Again, when I was looking at preparing this presentation, I thought this is very relevant for you. It will help you where you stand. Some of them may not be in the sheet here, but for us to figure out where do we look at the talent landscape across the country. This is from the India Skills Report 2023. The world of AI has already arrived. Next time when you go to office, if at all you go to office, you will find your neighbor, not a human being, a bot will be sitting there and doing the job 200 times faster than what you do on a given day. So I call it as a hubo world. It's a combination of humans and bots. I call it as a hubo world. So get ready for a hubo world actually as we enter the future of 3 years, once in 3 years. Today it is changing once in 3 days. The number of mobile phones that are coming into the world, somebody was telling me Apple 15 Pro Max, 5 billion phones were dispatched from India to the exported. 5 billion phones. So look at the technology which is coming in. So you have to look for what do you prepare for the future. How do you create the talent for the future, not knowing what jobs will be there. That's the challenge for industry and academia. Right. Now, this is the AI stack. I'm sure all of you know because I shouldn't be showing this, but I wanted to get the connection for all of you. But the more important is in the top right corner of the slide. The need of the hour is not the only AI. If you forget HI, probably will be missing the biggest enabler of AI. Human intelligence with artificial intelligence. End of the day, you are creating the artificial intelligence, right? So don't ignore the human intelligence. The potential of human mind is actually infinite. So the idea is how do you create a blend of HI and AI to build the skills for the future? Right. Again, this is more about AI. A lot of people have spoken about. I want you to just absorb this slide for about 30 seconds. and then I'll go to the next one. But the important here is you can fulfill the 50% of the talent needs by your existing talent by using something called an URL method. Upskill, reskill, and enable people to learn. It's very, very important, right? So we talked about VR, MR. Today the medical field is using some of this technology, virtual realities to educate in the field of medicine, because people are not finding enough resources, so they're using AR. What are the realities of academia? Sorry, please, I hope nobody has a tomato and potato and all of that stuff, right? So, I'm trying to talk to you about the realities of our current landscape that we have in academia. We are continue to deliver 19th century content, 20th century methodology, pedagogy, people who learned from their forefathers, teachers who learned from their teachers, continue to do the same thing even today. But you are engaging with the 21st century's talent who has attention span of not more than 7 minutes. Every 7 minutes you have to reconnect with the student. You don't even look at the student, you keep writing at the blackboard, and then nobody will be there in the classroom and so on and so forth. So how do you do that? I call it as ADS syndrome. Our youth has got this ADS syndrome today, attention deficiency syndrome. Easygoing, confused, not committed to the future of themselves or the future of the country or future of the academia. So what will you do? Fully unprepared for the future. Now, academia is not aware of the reality. Maybe you are aware, you are not willing to do anything. Okay? And not prepared for a rapid transformation. How ready are we to embrace change? To understand why change is required and so on and so forth. We are not ready to transition and transform ourselves. A lack of mental ability and agility for change, we already talked about it. Highly theory-centric, not application-oriented, not aligned with the change in technology. We are busy in creating a filled mind. Okay? Semester, examination, 9.5 CGPA, consistency, prepare for interview, push out. It is not the filled mind. You want the formed mind. Well-formed mind is required. Now, future is happening. What do we do? What is our game plan? What can we do? The question that I am asking you is, I think the time has come, if we are ready and we are serious about our profession and our role in shaping the future of the world, I am saying we must be willing to recognize and acknowledge the problem statement. Second one, accept responsibility and accountability for the current situation. We can't blame anybody. You can't blame UGC, AICTE, and Technical University. No, my Vice Chancellor is not allowing, my principal is not allowing, sorry. All those questions are out of the window. We must understand and acknowledge and accept the responsibility of the current situation. Unless we realize the responsibility that we have to shoulder, we will not be able to move forward. Introspect the reasons for the current situation. There is no problem in this world which cannot be solved. Are you with me? Every problem has a solution. And if you want to make, every solution can be a problem also. Right? So that is very important. Evaluate how prepared are you for the change. Many institutions do not have the concept of a HR department or a strategy department or a talent transformation department. We have something called a training and placement officer. Age old again. HOD's job or the student's job. Please evaluate preparedness. How ready are we? Commit to working together and start the journey of transformation. It has to come from all of us, industry as well as academia. Understand and learn AI and learn with and from AI. There is a lot of things. This last line is a request actually. You know, it could be university, it could be industry. We all are human beings. We eat salt every day. We have our share of ego. For a larger cause, for a larger responsibility and accountability of building a better society, better world together, we must let go of our ego and let's move forward. So this is a context that I have set here in this room. We have my colleagues from the industry sitting here. We have my friends from academia here. Deborah, can we have some questions? Mentimeter, are you ready? Can we have the questions, please? Okay, what we did is we asked some basic questions to the industry and academia people. Do you think academia is well equipped enough to cater to the requirements of the current times? We asked this question. The question is relevant for all of you as well. We have not cooked up these answers, by the way, please. Okay, next question. We have next question. Still people are responding? Yeah. Come on. Not bad. Okay. There can be many answers. More people can respond. Sure. All right, quickly. I'm hoping one will come here on the left side. Koi to bolo yaar. Koi to bolo. Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. So the writing is on the wall, my dear friends. As you are saying that we need a real, what I call in my management language, we have an elephant in the room. The idea is that elephant should dance to, what is this latest song, Negi Saab? We have to make the elephant dance. How do we get the elephant to sing and dance to your tunes? Okay, next question we'll try. Okay, next one. Bhayaji. Okay, please look at this question. Is enough support to academia being extended from the industry to create a collaborative ecosystem? Both of you can respond. Industry people also need to respond here. Looks like fixing is happening, huh? Some fixing is happening. देखेंगे किसके बाजू में ज्यादा है दम, हाँ? अब तो आ रहा है. Reality is coming out. No, is it fair question I'm asking? Yeah? Are we understanding the problems on hand? Right? So I think time has come. Why are we asking these questions? Why are we creating this ITTL event? Because enough has been said for many, many years. I'm in the industry for the last 27 years. From 2000 onwards, we are talking about industry-academia collaboration. We are like railway track. Strong bond, but we will never converge. We want to go together, never come together. Okay. We have one more question. Okay, do we believe we in this room have a collective mindset and conviction to succeed together? ए भाई जो नो बोल रहे हैं उसको बाहर लेके आओ यार. I'm just saying, my dear friends, the writing is on the wall. If nobody from this room are willing or not willing, will be a decider of our future. If we are anywhere genuinely interested in a great future, for both of us, industry as well as academia, I think now is the time, now or never. I think as we enter into the 12th January, where we celebrate the National Youth Day to commemorate the Swami Vivekananda's birth anniversary. So, are we committing ourselves? Let's see. Now, I think on this, now my friends are there, spread across. I want questions to come, and my colleagues from the industry are here. It will be an open forum. I am not looking at each individual, but please let's have a collective responses from each other and then support each other. Who goes first? Any questions? First we'll take questions from industry. Any questions from industry to academia?
So basically this session is about the industry people, because we have corporate here, we have academia here, and they don't get a chance to meet each other and भड़ास निकालने का है, तो ये सेशन भड़ास निकालने के लिए है. जब कॉलेज के पास कॉर्पोरेट जाते हैं, उनका कुछ एक्सपेक्टेशन होता है, and that expectations are not met. You ask here, let the college people answer, let the college people ask questions. So ये बेसिकली आप समझ लीजिए, आपका अंदर अगर कॉलेज के लिए कोई भड़ास है, कॉलेज वाले इधर हैं, अगर कॉलेज वालों का अंदर कोई भड़ास है निकालिए, या तो एमिकेबली एक सोल्यूशन निकालिए. आई प्ले ए रोल फॉर बोथ ऑफ देम. So that's what this session is all about. Please. Yes.
Who goes first? Okay. Yes, please, ma'am.
Hi, everyone. Good evening, everyone. I have a question for TPOs, if they are also sitting in the speaker area here. Why does everyone have to be a developer or coder or, QA? Why can they not join any other profession? As in, maybe why can't they be part of sales team? Or why do we have this mindset? Why can't we just counsel our, students, or maybe we can tell their parents also to be, to have this mindset that not everybody need to be be a developer. So what, efforts are you guys taking in terms of telling or making your students or, making your students understand? I'm not sure if yeah.
Okay, understood the question. We have two of our experts from the southern part of India, Shastri sir and Vijaya ma'am. Please. Give a short answer, okay?
Yeah, counseling can be done, but that doesn't suffice there. There are many assumptions and presumptions for the roles you have and the roles you float for and the roles students apply. We have there are, student doesn't depend only on training and placement officer's opinion about a company or a role. They have their own opinions. They have their own ecosystem to go to, and many opinions are expressed. And in India, we handhold our children after 19 years also. We handhold till their existence in this world and our existence in this world. Because of that, they'll ask their parents. Parents always feel that they go to some other person, they say which is better. And it all depends on, there's a lot of dependence in this. If you come to a campus like, I represent SRM University, when people come to us, they say, we find most of the students are for marketing, they are really suitable for. Many times I found that many of my students go for marketing, then do their MBA, then go to the leadership roles. There are people who are interested in sales roles also. It is not that they are not interested. I don't feel that. Being seen the large pool of students, around 8,000, 10,000 students I address every year after year, I don't see such things because I have a fairly good mix of all others.
Sure.
But they are not dependent on placement officer's opinion here. There is no counseling, no amount of counseling with placement officer or any of these interactions will help them. Yeah.
I think, ma'am, to answer you fairly, I'll give you a 30-second answer. I think it's a question of awareness. Because today we are like blindfolded to IT and we don't look at anything outside this. There are some universities who have created for competitive examination, further education program, different career paths for people and so on and so forth. I think it's about opening up the windows of opportunity, making students aware of the opportunities available and show them the different career paths. Today they don't know the various career paths and hence, yes.
So what I'm what I'm experiencing right now is we as a team are able to convince these students, you know what, you should come and join our BDA, because when it comes to business development is the backbone of any organization, right? If there is no sales, there is no development, there is no growth, there is no revenue. We have to accept the fact whether we want to or not. So we are able to convince these students, you know what, this can give you vision, you can be part of our mission and this will give you growth and so on. But when they reach out to TPOs are convinced, okay, you know what, this person has done BTech and he wants to be part of your technical team only. So I think both of them, when it comes to students or TPO, they should be on the same page. And I would request I mean, I'm a parent of 2 children. We should also try and make our children or student, make them understand that let's not just wait for a dream job to come, right? Get the opportunity, whatever the opportunity that you're getting, just go and join.
Sure.
And stick to the organization for 6 months. Maybe you'll get if you're really dedicated and doing well, the IGPs are there in the organizations, and they'll give you a better opportunity. So just the mindset that I'm a little, unhappy with, the experience that I had with most of the TPOs. Otherwise, we at RNF, want to hire so many freshers, and I think a lot of organizations have freezed their hiring. We're still hiring. So,
Sure.
yeah.
I have one request, I have one suggestion. How many of you are from the industry in this room? Please, can you raise hands, including myself? Can I ask you for one favor? No, one favor. Can I ask one favor for all of you? In the next 90 days, choose a college of your choice, go to each institutions, demonstrate and give a presentation to all the student communities what career options available in your industry. So by that, placement officers will be delighted, students will be informed, and they will make a better choices. Are you with me? Will you commit to me then that you will all go to each one of the colleges of your choice? Say yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank
That's
you.
a very good
Thank you.
idea to
Yes.
incubate here in this session.
Audible? No. Chinmay, take the mic. It's okay.
So every day they see the placement officers day in and day out. I work as a placement officer, I work also industry, having my own company. But what is originally required, what ma'am has said, is 2 things. One is the reality or the real aspect of it. When you do an assessment for each candidate, make him understand where he stands today, what he can be, what he wants to be, what are the milestones he has to cross to achieve this particular aspirations what he has. That's something is an introspection which is required. But again, as I said, ghar ki murgi dal barabar, when the placement officer, academician, they go and talk, maybe they don't accept it the way it will be accepted when sir has recommended that institutions should industries should come forward, do such kind of hackathons or some kind of challenges, programs, make them understand. And then, that would make some sense. This is one, input from my side.
They all have
Chinmay
given a
sir.
commitment. Please.
Can I add to the point?
Please make it happen.
Hi everyone, I am Vijaya Mayer, representing CVR College from Hyderabad. What I understand is the kind of hype we have created for development roles. The day 1 slot, coming in early, June, July, internships, all that is by the industry. If the sales roles can come in as early as the IT company comes in, the ops guys accept, and if that career growth for 2 years, 3 years, because sales role is all about numbers. And are we talking about the same kind of numbers and CTCs to the students who are aspiring for sales role? Matters a lot. At the end of the day, student, whether it is IT or sales, is looking for a good remuneration.
Like equally, I asked the industry people, I have one request to all the academic people. Can you all raise your hands,
Yes,
for academic
sir.
people?
Yes.
Forget your placement numbers for a moment.
Not numbers.
No, hold on. Reach out to your industry connects without having any agenda of placements. Call the industry people to your place once a month, 3 hours, industry interaction platform. Let students and industry interact for 2 hours without any agenda, without hidden agenda of you come to day 0, day -1, day -3. Leave that for a moment. Create the report. It's a great question that you asked actually. Please, can you all
Absolutely.
make an effort?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Committed
Thank
from
you.
our side.
Next question. Any question, please?
Hi,
Look,
sir.
sir, hi.
Where, raise your hand.
Yeah.
Okay,
Can
you
you
got
see
the
my
mic.
hand?
Yeah, lovely.
So this is Anshu. I represent IBM, but I'm actually asking this question to academia to start relooking, because the question that she asked about career pathing, I think even before career pathing, I think industry people are actually looking at how we can start the conversation on skills being a currency, right? We need to move away from the mindset of the educational qualification and the passion and the ability to learn on the job, because now, more and more, as we are kind of advancing towards technical literacy, we are looking at people who can learn, unlearn, and again learn about what's happening in the industry. So how is it that colleges or universities preparing that mindset, which we call the growth mindset, in the students to be able to take on any challenge and not just focus on gaining a specific role, whether it was development or the specific career path? So how can we initiate those conversations around skills? And I think a lot of companies like us are actually opening the avenues for the newer students by providing a lot of certifications in each of those skills that I've talked about.
Sure. Anybody from academia would like to take this question?
Sir, I would like to add a point to...
No, hold on, sir, hold on.
Sir,
anybody from this part of the country?
We have Dr. Raj Hota, Dean, SOA, Deemed University, Bhubaneswar.
Mr. Nagana, I have few questions which remain unanswered.
Can you be a little loud, please? We can't hear you.
I have few questions which still
No, there is a question asked. You have to answer the question. No question to a question. We'll come back to you. First, give the answer to the question. Did we get the question right?
Which question?
Sir, answer.
Yeah.
You want to?
Anybody?
I was thinking she was asking.
Yeah, please go ahead, sir.
Yes, ma'am. I am Dr. Surendra, representing NRI Institute of Technology and General Secretary for APTPO Consortium.
No, respond to the question, please.
Yes, sir. And the question what ma'am has asked, because the people entering into the academia with a mindset, and there are many technologies, the students are confused and landing up with some technology, and then end of the day, the dynamic changing in the technology make the student not applicable to once he graduate from this thing. As ma'am has said, the new education policy now insisting us to go with certifications, internship, closely working with the industry. That problem will be solved within a short period of time, ma'am. Because the intention is keep on changing very frequently, so the student is confused with the technology. X company will take one technology, Y company will take one technology. End of the student who has to choose which technology and landing up with nowhere. He has become a master of all the skills, a jack of all skills, a master of none. That's what my opinion.
Okay, Negi sir, you have any expert comments? Advice, suggestion?
I have a point.
Hold on, just, yeah, go ahead, Negi sir.
No, I have a question.
Okay, please go ahead.
And basically, this is connected with one of the conversation I was having yesterday with our global director of data science. So we as an organization, and by the way, I come from IT organization just to give you a clarification, and my question is more towards software developers and how this industry is changing. And one thing I wanted to talk to university representative here about that. And I was talking to him, and we were speaking about artificial intelligence and machine learning practices that we wanted to build in our organization. And I asked him that I heard a lot that the ChatGPT or tools like that can possibly remove the requirement of a junior or a fresher software engineers. Is it true? He said yes. And I was on the video call because we work from anywhere permanently.
Yeah.
So I asked him, can you show me? He literally shared his screen, went to the ChatGPT and said, ChatGPT, I would like to build a program on this. Something was built, he asked another question, another thing was built. And I asked him, when you go in future to hire apprentices, because we go outside in university to hire apprentices, what is the change that you're looking for? Because they are the one who's making decisions while hiring technical experts. He said, Govind, one thing is very clear that any university or college who doesn't have this capability in their students that they can go to ChatGPT rather than writing codes by themselves, they can go to ChatGPT and ask the right questions and get this code done.
Sure.
We will not be hiring them for sure because I need that capability to be there.
Sure.
The second thing I asked him was that, do you think that ChatGPT can write the whole software itself? He said, not today.
Sure.
But the way ChatGPT is getting intelligent, one day maybe the whole software can be written by ChatGPT. So my question to the university and college, because that is just yesterday conversation, is that any university and college that is focusing specifically for software developers, I'm asking the IT graduates, are they focusing on giving them education on such tools which is artificial intelligence so that their students know about those tools where they can build softwares faster. So that's my question to the university and college. If there is anybody,
Okay, anybody
happy to know.
can take the question from Mr. Negi. Anybody can respond from the university? How many are from the university actually, deemed university? I think, I know actually, yes, okay. Anybody or the institution for that matter, anybody can take this question?
Can I respond?
Yeah, hold on, sir. We will come back to you for the expert comments, yeah. Anybody from the university?
I'll try to tell you a few things, few general things on this. Recently, we had a summit on industrial relations. HR has already finished IR, but
Okay.
IR we had a summit in which one CITU leader has come. He was speaking, he said, to increase the productivity of the workforce, we invented tools. Tools increase the productivity. And for the goods and services produced thus were consumed by these consumers again back. The person consumed it.
Okay.
Now you are replacing entirely the human being with the tool. Then who will be your consumer at that point? One question. Second question, I would love to remember the departed soul, Dr. Ganapati. You all must be knowing, SRM is known for Ganapati, sir.
Yeah.
He said in one of these forums only, you can as a university make a good clay. Making a doll out of the shape and the size that fits for the requirement is the business of the industry bodies and professional societies. A lot of huge amount of money, huge amount of people available in that particular space, they are not working properly. That is the reason why we have this skill gap as such, you call it.
Sir, please, your expert comments, please. Keep it short, and we are running out of time. Yeah, please. Yeah. Get ready for the next question. Anybody has the next question? Please be ready.
Just a thought over here. I think what is happening is today, if you look at it, our students don't have any idea about computational thinking, right? You ask them, for example, I keep on asking a question to all the colleges that I go to, how soon, how quickly can you empty the Indian Ocean using a bucket, right? Anyone would like to take a guess over here in this room? People say, no, it cannot be done. None of the student apart from one IIT graduate, right, an IIT Hyderabad graduate told me it'll depend on the size of the bucket. And that is where the difference is coming today. We are not talking about computational thinking. It doesn't matter. Today it might be Python, tomorrow it will be something else. It doesn't really matter. Till your fundamentals are strong, learnability is an easy thing, right? Today, are we producing people? You were talking about, ma'am, developers. We don't have people, colleges, who produce developers. Let's not fool ourselves. We are creating people only for operations and services industry today. If we have to change, we will have to move in a different direction. Today, ChatGPT and everything else is just tools, right? Help our students understand concepts. There's only one building, Hawa Mahal, a building without a foundation. Let's not make our students' buildings without foundations. Give them the foundation so that they can do it. Growth mindsets, higher order thinking skills are some things that we should teach in our colleges and universities. Adaptability, agility, learnability are the skills that industry is requiring. And that's what is important. So I think I'm playing the devil's advocate because I work with 500 plus organizations who advertise their entry-level positions on our portal, as well as I work with 700 plus colleges across Telangana. So that's where I thought, let me bridge the thing that's happening over here.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you, sir. Paji, you have a question?
Yep. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, please.
So my name is Dr. Swanpreet Singh. I've done a PhD as well, so know very well the academics as well as the corporate. We're hiring 1,800 MBA grads this year. I represent Niva Bupa Health Insurance. And the question to the academia is, why they only do the transactional thing a year? Why they call the recruiter once or twice a year? Why not it would be a perpetual thing? Secondly, what value addition they are doing to their alumni? Campus or an institution have a power to eliminate consultant. They have that manpower, they have that alums, being connected to them in thousands. For example, I passed out of a university have the alums. If they can, circulate the openings, it would help the recruiters. And we can, institutions have a power to eliminate consultants. So what are they doing? What step, what value addition they're doing into connect with the alums? That's my question.
Sir, I will answer on behalf of the academia. Sir, we have lots of alumni. We have alumni portal. Only 1,000 is registered, 2,000 registered. Every year we do events, sir. But only 200, 300 turn up, and then that's how it is, sir. We will do everything, sir.
Mr. Nagana, I will ask this question.
Please, sir.
Gentleman ask actually.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Somebody is talking.
Yeah. Gentleman ask how many times the academia connecting industry.
Hota sir.
Yeah, I will ask one question. Academia industry mutual beneficial relationship. All of us agree.
Yeah.
Academic people, all of us should agree with me. They connect with the industry. They try to connect with the HR from time to time throughout the year.
Yeah.
But are the industry serious to connect with the academia? Because as far as I know, when the requirement comes,
they have committed actually that they'll go to colleges. They are very serious.
When the requirement comes, as per the needs, because we always say the technical knowledge has to be aligned with the needs of the industry. We have a professor from IIT, NITs, they follow the academic curriculum. Also, industry people join the academia. Why they have joined the academia? The reasons known to them. Okay, because of their hectic schedule or because of interest in academia, they have joined. But after joining the academia, are they serious to motivate the students, the current trends in industry? Okay, this is very genuinely asked question.
Sure.
But main thing is that the way academia connect with the industry, my feeling is that industry also should connect with academia from time to time. Because once the connection will be there from their end, I don't think any academia will hesitate to.
Hota sahab, with due respect, tali dono haath se bajti hai.
I would like to add to what he has mentioned.
Hold on, our gentleman here actually. Sir, you can stand up after madam. Please go ahead, ma'am. Sir, hold on. Madam will speak and after you speak. Yeah.
Yeah, so to answer what he just referred, right, it is important to engage the corporate leaders, HRs and recruiters effectively.
Sure.
Right? And do a meaningful engagement. This is very, very critical, while having interaction with industry leaders. Otherwise, there's no interest a corporate would have or a company would have, in having a conversation with the campuses. So meaningful engagement is very, very critical for academia or colleges and campuses to ensure that, we are working together to achieve, our goals.
Yeah, I agree. Rise above your immediate requirements, look at a big picture and then connect better. Sir, please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I'm Dr. P. Nanda from VSSUT, Odisha. This is the first technical institute established in 1956. Actually, I want to share my experience regarding the requirement of the company, which is very flexible. Now, basically, we have to understand the structure of the university system and how it works. Of course, it is a lot of inertia, but we are slowly changing. But suppose, from my experience, for this year, only we have facing an issue that some companies are coming, okay, we need this technology. Until the last year, actually, when we ask, sir, what specifically you need, I don't know, don't worry, what they know. They don't know, we'll just test their analytical ability. I think this is a suggestion and a similar question to the recruiters particularly. Suppose you need a particular technology, you test it on the analysis and give us 3 months time. We need these certifications. If out of 50, some students can do it at the first come first. Let's say you need 30, first come first 30, who finishes, we'll take it. We give you guarantee all these certifications will definitely happen. But since the number of certifications is very large and students have their one choice, we have choices of around 8 to 10 technologies, starting from automations to AWS, lot of things. But once there is a guarantee that, okay, this recruiter comes, if you do this, there's a possibility of recruiter. Don't say that you'll recruiters. Then obviously it will happen. This dialogue has to happen from both these sides. That's my suggestion. Cannot we do it? You just give us 6 months. You have a 6 month internship.
Anybody from industry would like to answer? Anybody from the industry? Yes, ma'am, please. I think you raised your hand. Please go ahead. Quickly, keep your answer short because we're running out of time. We have many more events lined up. Probably we'll take one last question. We'll take one last question. No, we can't hear you. You're from the industry or academia?
I'm from industry. I'm Rashmi Sana. I'm
Sure,
the
ma'am.
HR director with FARAI.
Sure.
Just to answer the question, we're talking of two things right now. One is skill enhancement, grooming our new fresh blood to be industry fit. And second is placement. We should uncouple them when we look at it. When we talk about corporate connect with the academia, we should not couple it with a certainty that you will come, we'll give you an opportunity to speak, but you should give us a placement number also. The moment we uncouple both, it will be advantageous for both the parties. Second, to answer a question, any company, if it is a startup or a well-established service-based organization, they will hire the best resource. They will not take a risk of hiring an upcoming or a grooming person. So there is going to be a competition.
Sure.
But to compete that competition, to make them prepared to be hired, is where you need an industry come.
Okay.
So we need to just decouple both of them and then look at it that when we are having a corporate connect, are we looking at grooming the students or are we looking at a future intent of getting more people placed in that organization?
Okay. Ma'am, you have any other points to what she said?
Sir,
just hold on, sir. She has been raising her hands. Just 1 second, I'll come back to you last. Hold on.
I wanted to add one point. I think from academia standpoint, they need to change their pitch when we are actually, connecting with the corporates or, this industry. Reason being, because all the curriculums is the same from all the colleges, but how are you differentiating your talent for the corporates? That is something which you should act on, because, the corporates right now, they need people who are ready to work from day one. So how we are actually differentiating? Are you, because there are students who do a lot of certification, but are you combining it and then presenting to the corporate? Because that's how it will act as a differentiator for you.
So, lovely. Last gentleman there. Yes, please. Quickly. Yes, sir. Keep it short. Keep your answer short. Yeah.
Okay. Just one last point, that someone asked about the flexibility. So never hesitate if demand is flexible, because flexibility comes with the ability of multitasking. And you need to prepare your kids to be a multitasker, because market is very competitive. And if a person is constrained himself or herself with one particular skill, survival in the industry is going to be very, very difficult. So you always need to be aggressive in terms of providing multiple trainings. Even corporates are very much ready in providing what they require. Companies like us, IBM, Accenture. So reach out to right people at right time with the right approach, and things will definitely work out for you. Thank you.
Lovely. Are you all geared up, interested to continue more? Another 10 minutes? Yeah?
One last question, please.
No, hold on. No, we're not stopping. Actually, we'll continue more. I invite my colleagues to please come and continue the facilitation. The CEO of GoCloud, Manav, please can you come on stage and help me? But one word I want to leave with before I leave the stage, because I have a flight to catch. It is about survival of the fittest, the fastest, and the best. Fittest, fastest, and the best. That's the need of the hour today. And what industry will look for is, we will not look for any great skills. We hire for attitude, we train for skill, and we develop for leadership. The question is, do we have the learnability in the minds of the people? On that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you Delhi for hosting us. Great having all of you. Continue the discussion. God bless. Good luck. Thank you.
So thank you. So we'll take it from here. Hope you have a safe flight back home, Nagana. Right. So who has the next question? Yes, sir.
Hi.
Sir,
My name is...
Hi.
Sir, before we take this question, I have a point, and maybe actually that will trigger more points around this. So we spoke about, the lady spoke about, expectations of corporates, and then the expectations of academia. So while the engagements happen, campus corporate engagement happen, and we all are witness that it has been there. I mean, I've been doing campus recruitments for almost like 20 years now. And we have been talking about the same thing, that, we need to connect. When we connect, we actually end up saying that, okay, fine, you know what, these all things we expect. And Shubham rightly pointed out, if you have, the choices, the world is really competitive and people have to have a lot of skills that they have. Unfortunately, from a corporate point of view, when I go for campus interviews, apart from every other thing the candidate has, the students have, if I am looking out somebody good in Java development, I actually end up assessing the student only on Java development experience, as in expertise. And the rest of the skills I keep aside. So my request to the corporates is more around that, okay, fine, you know what, while the whole year I have been preaching to the students or the academia that, you know, you need to look at overall development of the students, but end of it, when I go for hiring, I actually look at only one skill, which is not so right on my part from a corporate angle.
Yeah. And again, to add to it, right, Manav, skill is something which can be taught. See, there are both sides to it, right? When do we go to a college? We go to a college when the product is almost finished to take it up. Why is there no early intervention while some companies have started doing it? Why don't you say probably go and talk during their freshman induction or probably one stage below? And same to universities, right? When you get in students, in our context, in our culture, right? Probably this is an answer to the first question as well. Why do most of the students today also become engineers? Yes, by choice. Students have more information than what we corporates have about where they would want to land and what they would want to do. They are very choosy, right? But talking to them about the avenues, what they can take up, even before they hit their undergraduation is very important. Probably take one step below, right? Go to higher primary, higher secondary, talk to students as to where they can shape up their careers. And in our country, our culture is more influential. My uncle's son is a software engineer in the US, so I want my son to be a software engineer, go to the US. We don't talk about anything else. And if you go and talk to freshmen in engineering colleges today, probably about 60-70% of them would be engineers because of peer pressure. Right? Either their fellow classmates would be engineers, their parents would have pushed them to be engineers, or something on those lines. So, one, setting some entry criteria for engineers for aspirant engineers to becoming engineers, and two, from the industry intervention there, if they have got in, how do they make it, is also required. Right? So with that say, probably the next question.
Hi, I represent Tata Group of companies. I am also part of Corporate and Campus Connect since last 10 years. I just want to throw one light on a question, if it is relevant for all. We have internships for students, right? But I feel it is much more important to have internships for professors so that they can visit the campus corporates, they can visit the corporates and understand the skill set required, because what skill set I require in my team today, it is not necessary it is required tomorrow, and it is changing. Secondly, my ask would be, when you are designing the curriculum, is it reviewed every year? I don't think so. It's hardly once in 5 years, once in a decade, and still we are doing the same things. So are the subject matter experts are onboarded when the review is happening? So these two things which I feel are the areas to address, and where Sir said the foundation to ensure that we have a right skill set available for the market.
Anybody from the academia?
Yes.
From industry, and the common link between industry and academia is learning and development team. I don't see any dotted connection between learning and development and academia. I have not seen many of the academia team joining learning and development team, and vice versa. If these two dots are connected properly, and in a long term, the skill gap, the competency gap, all those things will be automatically corrected. So this is where I think we both have to collaborate, work together to achieve desired output.
Yeah. I think again from the academia I would want to answer it a bit. The expectation from industry most of the time is you come and ask. Why can't we go and give? Correct. Valid point, right? So I also work for a corporate. I work for Thrive Digital, but when this comes up there, I talk as to why should the colleges come and talk to you? Why should you not go and tell them? boss, this is what we need to do. See, every company hires people from 1 or 2 colleges, or there is some fresh intake. As a part of your talent strategy, probably to a minimum 15% comes fresh. So at least induct in there. You take one step, say probably the academia may take 2, right? And again, the skill coffee toffee talk will continue to happen probably as long as I am in the industry and beyond. But yeah, anybody from the academia to answer that? Yes, sir.
Sir,
Shastri,
I
sir.
have a point to add here. I am from Microsoft India.
Okay.
I work for the R&D team of Microsoft, and I am one of the developers from OpenAI as well, the ChatGPT, as you all know. So just wanted to update all of you here from the academia as well as from the industry, at least from the product industry side, as far as I know, because we have been taught to become an interviewer. I also need to give interviews, lot of interviews at the back end to become an interviewer. And the entire goal of me to hire any graduate or any lateral hire in my organization, at least in the Microsoft Google. So we have a goal to make them success. So we suppose, as you mentioned, like Java, it's not Java, sir. It's all computational analysis, analytical skill of an individual. These days, something called prompt engineering. I don't know how many of you are aware that prompt engineering is very important, and that comes from if somebody has a computational and that analytical mind. Right. So those are the things which are very important from the industry per se. And of course, we do a lot of calculations to generate more resource to reach out to the academia and hire more people. So that's how we look at it. But yeah, over to academia.
Yep.
Yeah, can we answer regarding the internships and things like that, all right? Internships, board of studies, when we are revamping the curriculum and all. In India, as we speak today, there are 100, in each state, there are many autonomous colleges, universities, state universities and deemed universities. All of us have board of studies, and there are industry partners who are participating there and who are changing the curriculum. Though they say that once in 5 years only you can change, but the curriculum has its flexibility, the 6th, 7th, 8th semester. There are professional electives, open electives, and electives per se. There are 3 types of buckets that are available, which industry subjects are, industry related subjects, industry recommended subjects are added as electives. So it is there across all the universities now. It is not a question that, that we are not able to do those things. There are many companies who come forward, give us their curriculum. They come, we train on them, then they come and recruit as a first right of refusal. There are hundreds of universities and autonomous colleges who are doing that, and there are major, minor, to avoid this, every year changes requirement, as he said, just in time floating the courses. We have this major, minor and electives that is possible, and it is happening in this country. Thanks to the professional bodies like AICTE and all who allowed this to happen. One more problem which we critically face now is, the problem I am facing today, I'll tell you. I have a course on blockchain, BTech in CSE with a specialization blockchain. We went for asking for FDP with companies like TCS, Wipro, Infosys, Cognizant, all the big 5. They thought about it for a month. They couldn't find people who can come and teach that. But we are rolling it out as a subject to the student. That is the fate of it. In many cases, we have courses like AI and ML. We don't have professors there, and we don't have even the industry geared up to give an FDP or intervene at a level where it should be given as a curriculum to the student. So there are challenges there. Regarding the faculty immersion programs which you are talking about, this country, if I am the placement officer from 2000 year, we have seen ups and downs. And we have seen whenever industry is in upcurve, everybody will come to us, talk about industry interventions and things like that. When there is a downtrend, the phone silence. There is no reply to whatever we ask for. I have not carried out any initiative that is consistently available from last 20 years. Sir, Srivacha sir, you should support me on this.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So
I have been reaching out.
Yes, you have been reaching out from different companies with different skill sets, not one skill set, right? So it is, the consistency problem is always there, and I think my colleague Hota has raised this point. When HR wants us, they find us in the midnight also somewhere. But when we want them for some question, they are not available. And Hota is smiling at the backdrop, I think.
It's all need-based, right?
It's all need-based. It's been happening, and still we are able to do quite a good number of recruitments and placements. Faculty immersions, the biggest problem is non-disclosures, the site requirements, the biggest thing is IT. Many of you are working on projects of clients, specifications of clients. Many times the area is so much sanitized that the faculties are not allowed there. Again, they go and work with dummy specific, but there are many companies which have come up. Like Mission 10X is a big example where the industry has come up to the institutions, build up the capability of teaching and learning. There are many use cases that are being shared to us nowadays. Thanks to the industry, it has matured a bit and they have been doing it. And 3 days ago, I was in Srivacha sir's support. I was talking to his CEO for a joint project which we are trying to float on a Government of India proposal it is. We are, for our industry consortium, it was required as a part of the proposal. I was talking to his COE. So all these things are possible, CEO. All these things are possible and faculty immersion programs are possible. We have been doing it, and if we should note down his contact details, and we should also ask him for the faculty immersion. We're really thankful to you for raising that point. If you can accommodate our faculties for a month, 2 months, 3 months, we are more than happy to send them. If the volume of teachers in this country, please calculate, it's very high. And the volume of people who can just come and impress you in 2 months and come back to us is also is a big question mark. Because we have recruited left, right, center based on the faculty-student ratio. It may not conform to the requirements of a teacher. This is an open statement, and this is also happening in this country. Thank you so much.
Just one comment over here, talking about faculty internship. I think today technology gives you the leverage that you don't have to immerse into the industry for 2-3 months, right? What you need to understand is what are real industry problems, how do you solve them, right? Which is most important today because you're only teaching theory in the classes. So what we have got is, and people can Google it, there's this project Drona that we are running in Telangana along with HICIA, which is the equivalent of NASSCOM, which is the software trade body, and Infosys Springboard. So on 3 topics, we are giving them internship, real life problems, they solve, and of course then they go into the industry. Earlier there was a mirroring that was happening or you're shadowing it, but now you're actually solving those problems in large companies and mid-sized companies. Coming to your question about blockchain, please don't go after the big companies. Go to companies who want to hire people from you, who have got fire in their belly. And for example, when we wanted to train our people on blockchain, we went to a company called Nagaro, right, which is headquartered here in Gurgaon and has got offices all across. And they did a FDP for us, for our faculty members. So look at people, don't go after the name. In fact, that's what I'm telling the academia always, that please don't go after name. When the first interaction that happens with corporates is, can you come and do a campus for us, right? That's where the conversations start. And that's also where the conversations end, right? So ask them what can they provide you more than just placements. And that's where FDP is a very good idea. Internship is a brilliant thing that we have to do. Because our faculty members have come straight after doing the BTech, MTech, started teaching, right? Be it mechanical, civil, whatever. And that's where it's important.
Right.
Excellent point, sir.
Thank you. So that was some good time spent, some good learning. So probably some commitments from the industry and some commitments from the academia needed there. See, there is always a need for finished raw material, right? And we need to give something to it to come out in a proper shape and size. No 2 organizations need are the same. The foundations have to be very similar. And for that, the industry has to contribute and the academia has to stand up and receive it and lay it up for the industry. With that, we have taken notes of all the points. Thanks for joining in. Abhishek? Around?
I would like to ask a last question, please.
Oh yeah, please. Go ahead.
Yeah. So this is Dr. Piyush Naik. I represent Analect India and Omnicom Media Group. So we have a target to recruit 300 freshers for the coming year in 2024. In 2025, we have the same target to go with. I have been exploring the universities to recruit in a different initiative in terms of the partnerships. But honestly speaking, I don't see any that craze coming up from the university. I've been to 2 to 3 universities in the month of December, but that fire is missed out. Like, I do not know. They just want to keep it in a mode. You come, you recruit, and then you go. I'm looking for a long-term partnerships where in the coming 2025, we can have a just-in-time kind of hiring. So I wanted to know your point of view in case if you guys will be able to help us out into this sort.
Oh yeah, I think, Shastri sir, I'll take that. I think there are pretty very big institutions. Probably you may have reached out to one set of it, but there are some interested sharks in here who are sitting who will definitely catch you immediately after this to take it up from there.
I am looking for a kind of ecosystem.
Sir, you raised in a proper platform. We are there, sir. Your answer is done.
So you would definitely get it out of this crowd, and there are quite a number of enablers also. So we'd make that happen. Sure.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have our leadership awards, and for this I would like to call upon Talis Rizvi sir. He's just got his coffee. He's the Director for Special Projects and Communities at BW Business World and BW CFO World. And along with that, I would like to call upon the Chief Executive Officer at Telangana Academy for Skill and Knowledge. They are our skilling partner. Can I have a big and thunderous round of applause as Mr. Shrikant Sinha joins us on stage.
So this leadership award is basically on to all the industry stalwarts based on the profile submissions, where our knowledge partner T-Hub, skilling partner Task, we have BW People and My Anatomy and other partners. So based on your commitment, your contributions towards employment, enabling employment and employability, supporting the employability parameters, and based on your experience and other various parameters which has been decided. So I would like Abhishek to take it from here, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have my two dignitaries on stage, and let's quickly begin. Ladies and gentlemen, we had instituted a special jury awards this year for startups. And I would like to call the gentleman who was behind organizing and was also the one interacting with the jury,
These were jury-instituted awards, so I would like to call upon the founder and CEO at Lifecycle and Ontropy. Can I have a round of applause for Deenanath Harapanahalli, sir, on stage, please? Let's give him a round of applause as he joins us.
Good evening, everybody. So this started about 2-3 months ago. Chinmay wanted to take this particular series of India Tech Talent League all over the country, and everywhere he wanted, our help to get the startups, identified, put in front of the, right investors as such. So the conversation started, I believe, during the Hyderabad round. Chinmay, I think that was in November. So we said we will get this to the concluding event of his India Tech Talent League, which is happening in Delhi, and we started the process. So the idea is this. I think India actually is at a turning point. And I think no matter where we look, there is a huge need for a talent of a different kind. And a lot of things need to fall in place for the businesses to find the right talent, for people to find their dream careers, for the entire process to happen efficiently, effectively, and in a manner that actually brings that manpower, the horsepower into running various sectors. I think for the last 2-3 decades, we have been overly focused on IT, especially the software services, and I think that kind of a transformational effort in the talent space needs to happen across the board. So we actually went out and sought applications from hundreds of startups, the startups who are trying to hire into various sectors, bringing different technologies into the process, training, skilling and development, applying new, all this AI technologies into the, human capital aspects. So net, we're very pleased with the process. So we had, as I said, hundreds of applicants, and we went through a very systematic process of getting to a short list of about, a dozen, and then getting to ultimately, the top 5 awards. So what we're going to do now is to have the top 5 emerging out of that process announced in this. And before I do that, I would like to, bring all my, partners in crime onto the stage, the guys who actually helped us get to this. So starting with you, Pawan Rajkumar from Venture Garage, please come onto the stage. And together we are going to give away these awards to the startups. And then, let me see, I think Shashank of Fard Network should be here. If anybody say, please come on to the right. Saurabh Agarwal from Angel Bay, please come over. Siddharth Shukla from GMR Group, and Vishal Gandhi from BioRx. Okay. So these gentlemen actually finally got us that independent judgment of who are those startups. We are actually doing some groundbreaking work. In fact, I do encourage all of you to take a very close look at the startup that is receiving the award, and we'll also be publishing various other startups who actually pretty much came to the final round, and they're equally good. So we are not just leaving this at the award, we're actually taking them through the investment process. So I'm sure many of these startups will actually go ahead and get the funding they need to break through into that next stage and actually bring that change that we want in the Indian human capital space, right? One quick request from my side, anything that you have as a message, a couple of lines for these guys, because as you, all of you, I think, see, all these guys are doing fantastic work, because at the end of the day, I like the guys who put their money where where their mouth is, right? So it's a tremendous change maker. So I want to give them that opportunity, and before that, I want to thank them for doing all of this. But if you can just quickly tell what your message is.
Hey, hi. So this is Shashank this side. I'm representing Fard Network. We are an early stage Cat 1 VC fund. So first of all, thank you so much, sir, for giving us this opportunity, right? And it's always exciting to be a part of such events, because the kind of enthusiasm that you get to see in India, I don't think that that's possible across anywhere else. The kind of startups that have been pitched today, it's super exciting to see all the challenges that they have taken upon to solve the different kind of problems. And they've able to successfully cracked it. But with the enthusiasm that they've been building, with or without funding also, I think they are already on the right path, but we would also like to act as a right set of participants for them to maybe expedite this growth and be the partners for them to reach to the right set of scales. So that's, I think, our 2 cents on this. I'll be probably going to pass the mic.
Pawan here, we I'm actually leading the angel network at Venture Garage. I have been an angel investor for almost 10 years, and I became an angel investor because I like to work with founders, spend time with them, see the new things they're doing, new problems they're solving, with new solutions, etc., etc. And I think I had a great time today, listening to all of you guys, seeing what new stuff you're doing with new thought processes. Yeah, of course, some of you are ahead in your stage, and we would like to invest in you as well. But thanks, I had a great experience and look forward to working with you guys. Thanks.
Hi, this is Saurabh Agrawal. I run an angel network called Angel Way. And this has been a good experience in terms of meeting the startups today. I think the selection was done pretty well. Most of the startups, we really like the way you